6 months ago, 27-year-old Jodie Prenger from Blackpool weighed more than 18 stone. Then she entered The Biggest Loser, and at the end she defied all the odds to become the first ever female winner after shedding nearly half her body weight.
When I came into this show, I did hear of a few people that a woman could never be the winner because guys lose weight quicker than girls. But it's nice to go and prove things wrong, because it just goes to show the girls can do it. I don't think people realise how much it changes your life and just gives you your life back. Being overweight is such a huge thing in a person's life. I used to hide behind having a laugh and people just thinking that everything that they said to me about my weight just rolled off my back. And it didn't, it really hurt. And you never really feel like you're just Jodie or you're just this one person. You're always known as the big girl, and that it hurts. And it's so lovely to realise that people actually for once see you as just you, and you can just be you, and that's what money can't buy, is just happiness in being yourself.
Jodie thrived in The Biggest Loser house, but there was a shock in store in week 5 when everything changed.
From this point on, the red and blue teams no longer exist. You will now be divided into pairs. There will be 3 male-female duos and 1 all-male pairing.
With Matt gaining the power to pick the pairs, Jodie's fate lay in his hands. So she was understandably nervous when he came in to break the news.
Lee, I'm afraid that you're going to have Jodie.
I was over the moon. You know, it's one person I wanted to be paired up with in the beginning.
So Jodie had been given the partner she wanted, but would they keep Angie as their trainer?
We were all sat there in the gymnasium and the trainers were coming in, and we knew that they were going to pick the names out the hat. Now, me and Lee were so worried. I mean, we love Mark to bits. He's a lovely, lovely guy, but we just wanted Angie. That's plain and simple. There was nobody else we wanted.
My second pair, Lee and Jodie.
When Angie picked us out the hat, I was like, get in, as Angie would say. We were elated.
And the strength of Jodie and Lee's partnership really shone in the weekly challenges.
My best challenge was definitely, I loved the apple challenge. When me and Lee were tied together and we had to go down this hill, pick up lots of apples, bring them back and press them.
Go on, Lee. Go on, Lee.
It was so much fun. It was just so great and such great camaraderie that, I tell you what, that apple challenge was bob on.
But the following week's challenge was a different story.
The week that I thought me and Lee were going to go below the yellow line was the week we did the challenge at the Bristol Docks, when we had to get on the row machine for 3 hours. I went 3 what?
Time for the rowing to start. Take your positions.
The only thing I think that you could do at that point is to kind of put your head somewhere else and just get on with the challenge ahead.
That was really hard. Really, really hard. If you can do feats like that, you feel that you can just take on the world.
Jodie was like a little monster. You know, she didn't even stop. She didn't so much as take a deep breath. The winners are Ben and Alexis.
That was the week that Ben and Alexis won immunity, which mean that there was only 3 pairs to face going below the yellow line. It was horrible because me and Lee, we just tried so hard, and both of us had weeks where we'd gone full guns and only lost a few pounds. So you never know what's going to happen when you step on them scales.
Jodie's first encounter with the dreaded Biggest Loser scales was on day 1 in the house.
The first weigh-in I had was when I was 18 stone 2. That's a whole lot of mama. And I knew when I looked at that number, I thought, there ain't no way I am ever going to be that way again, and I wanted to make the change in my life.
And from that point on, every pound shed on the scales was critical.
There was more than one sleepless night. We used to panic big time. We used to calculate, well, you look like you've lost weight this week, and you look like you've lost weight this week, and oh, do you think I've lost weight this week? Everybody's competitive streak came out 10 to the dozen. It really did. And mine did too. Do you know, I never thought I was that competitive. I thought, oh, Jodie, you evil thing. I was thinking, oh, I hope you don't lose that much, because then if you lose that much, then maybe Lee won't, and then we will. It was horrible. I become this evil person, but I think it was the anginator that really got me going. Stepping up on them scales was definitely a big fear that I had in the house.
Despite her fears, Jodie's hard work paid off week after week.
When it came towards the end and there was only me and Liz left, I was just fighting so hard. I just wanted to be the last girl left. But that horrible competitive streak, it was awful, you know, and I was just like, I want her out the house, I want her out the house. To see that when she stood up to put on a pound, I was just gobsmacked. I just feel so relieved.
Each week, the weigh-ins led to the elimination room, where the contestants were forced to vote someone out of the house.
Friendships definitely were tested in the elimination room. The first elimination was definitely hard for me because I bonded so well with Amos. I really didn't want to send him home because he was such a good friend. And then on the other hand, we had Alan, who really missed his family. And to send somebody home because Alan still put 110% in, it was just wrong. It wasn't right, and it didn't feel right me doing it. And I think that's what got me so emotional, because it was just wrong what I was doing.
I've chosen Alan. I'm so sorry. I really am so sorry. You know, I love you to bits. I'm so sorry.
But Amos did go, and that was really, really hard for me because I lost my best buddy in the house. Towards the end, it wasn't that hard for me to choose the person I was going to vote off. The way the game panned out, it was always like a blue below the yellow line. And the great thing was the fact that everybody voted with the heart and not the head. People weren't there to vote off the biggest threat, and that's what made it such a good game.
But in week 9, things became a lot more difficult when all the eliminated contestants returned at the challenge, with the chance for one of them to get back into the house.
Of course, the first person I wanted back was definitely Amos. But I knew if Amos and Lee was going to go below the yellow line, well, I would just feel like a Judas.
Amos did return to the house, and Jodie's worst fear became a reality at the final weigh-in when she had to beat him to guarantee herself a place in the final.
You know, you put so much work in, and I just don't think it's enough.
Okay, Jodie, the figure you need to beat is Amos's 3.4%.
In beating Amos by just 0.1%, she pushed her two closest friends into the firing line, with only one of them able to make it through.
Amos was there, a very close friend, and then obviously when Amos left, me and Lee were there, thick and thin throughout the whole thing, and I knew, you know, I'm not that kind of person. I will vote with my heart and not my head.
So the time came for Jodie to make her decision.
This time round has been the hardest decision I've just ever had to make. I really am torn between two magnificent people. The person I voted for is Amos.
He was just such a wonderful person and never did nothing wrong. That was a really, really horrible experience for me in the house.
So, Lee, Ben and Jodie, congratulations. You have secured your places in the final.
And after 3 months away, Jodie returned triumphant to take the title of the UK's Biggest Loser.